All right, good evening, everybody. We have some people coming in now. I opened it up a little bit early, so hopefully you can see a turkey on your screen besides me. All right, good to see everybody checking in. Welcome. We'll get started about 2 minutes after 6, just to allow everybody to check in. And yep, you are able to chat. Please use the chat function in order to ask any questions. I haven't learned how to use the question and answer portion of the Zoom product, but that will be something I'll be investigating. So please, any questions you have, please use the chat function in order to address them. We will answer them as panelists, and anything I see that comes through that needs to be addressed, I will try to address it at that time. Good. People are lining up. I appreciate your time coming out and enjoying this little presentation tonight. Thank you for dedicating your time to this. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully it will give you some good information to apply for some turkey hunts with our department tonight. I was telling the license and revenue people, I hope they get a blip from this presentation tonight. All right. Give it another 2 minutes. People are coming in still. All right. From Southern California, no turkey hunting off. All right, well, somebody from Southern California, I have one opportunity down there I'm looking into, but we'll get into that later on with our presentation. But yeah, turkey hunters in Southern California are a little bit limited at this time. All right. Okay, we are recording this session. As I mentioned, it's 6 o'clock now. As I mentioned, we are going to address any questions through the chat function. So if you have any questions, please go down to the chat and go there and type in your questions. They will only be seen by the panelists, and they'll be addressed either verbally or as an individual return message. Also, I will be doing some polls, and I hope that you're able to participate in those. They're good at telling us a couple things about what our participants are having to deal with. So please participate in the polls, and you'll enjoy them too. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the presentation. We have a couple of other Hunter Ed staff online as panelists, and if they see I'm missing something, then they'll make sure to point it out to me. So feel free to ask questions as we go along. Hopefully I'll see them also and be able to address them. Otherwise, we'll keep going. And once again, some of you who've been coming to these webinars know that I've had our hunter ed instructors join us for this, and they willfully and gladly do. I want to thank you for your support continuously with our program. Since we are not teaching live classes right now, it's a very nice to actually know that you're on board with me here. I do miss seeing you guys. So from there, we are going to start with our presentation, and let's get going. All right, so you should see this nice wild turkey here. We're going to talk about wild turkey hunt applications. Basically, the reason we're doing that is turkey season is right around the corner. Opens on March 20th for juniors and 3/27 for the general season. As you can see, the turkey range for California is pretty much through all regions of the state except what we call the inland desert area, which would be our East Sierras and our Mojave Desert area east of Los Angeles. And you can see that some people lucky enough in San Diego County do have some turkeys down there. But there is a little bit of a gap, but for most intents and purposes, the turkey range is pretty broad throughout California. A lot of the area, let me get my little pointer up. Just a second. I'm going to get my laser pointer up. As you can see, most of the area for California where turkeys are present are in an oak woodland area along the coast, along the Sierra Nevada below the main mountain range, and the areas northern. Whenever you have riparian area, a lot of water, there's a good turkey population. The areas down here in San Diego County, I believe those are oak woodland areas also. So that's where we find the majority of our turkey opportunities. But tonight we're going to talk about California Fish and Wildlife hunt opportunities. And through the state, you will have an option to apply for different hunt opportunities up and down, all the way south to Tulare County. The southernmost hunt opportunity we have down there is near Porterville, Tulare County. There's 2 share hunts that are available. I'll get into those. Also, we have some in Fresno County. Those are archery hunts, and some in Santa Clara County at our Cañada de los Osos property. But a majority of the properties will be in the Sacramento region. Okay. Love this picture. It reminds me of, you know, high school guys checking out the girl going down the hallway. They're all trying to impress. They're dressed to impress, and she's not giving them a one look. So it's kind of nice to see that. It's kind of funny. But I'm going to go over the step-by-step instructions tonight. Although you can apply in person for these hunt opportunities at a licensed vendor, it may be easier and safer to just do that at home through the ALDS program, our license system. But for the application, you must have a hunting license and upland stamp. I'm talking about for adults, have to have the stamp, not the juniors, or you have to have one ready to purchase in your cart when you apply. All right. So starting at our home page here, I have a question coming in. Sorry. Yep. All right. So from our home page, you're going to select licensing. When you select licensing, you'll get a drop-down menu which will show purchase license, and you'll select that. This will land you on our online license system, which you'll go to the customer login or registration, depending on whether you're a new registrant or somebody who's been in the system already. So I really like our online license system because it does not require you to remember any passwords or, you know, usernames. It's very simple. All you do is enter your date of birth in the format requested and your last name. Don't know where my chat ends up. Okay. I thought I would be able to see your guys' chats, but I'm not seeing them. So please stand by. Robert, is there anything I need to see right now?
No, not really. I answered a couple specific to Southern California. They're just looking for, opportunities down there. I guess you covered a little bit, but you're going to be covering hunts that are available to the department, and there are not that many down south.
Okay.
But if people are willing to travel, these are good options.
All right. Well, I used to have my chat box up on my screen, but it disappeared and I can't find it. So I'm gonna have to continue. And if you would, Robert, just please interrupt me on a section where an answer needs to be done. Technical difficulties have caused me not to be able to see my chat box. So here we go. All right, so as I was mentioning, you enter in your date of birth and your last name and select next. And this is where you'll enter in an ID type, okay? There's Go ID, there's your state ID, passport, military ID, all those that are specific to you, whatever you entered when you entered into the system. Myself, I always use my driver's license, so you'll do the state issued, your number, and select next. Now, if the system doesn't recognize you as a repeat customer, either you've used something wrong in the way of the information, or you may need to enter as a new registrant. But when you do that, you'll set up a profile, or you'll land in here as a past user. You'll set up, just check your profile, make sure it's correct, make sure your email address is correct, because that's the way you'll be notified of some changes, and do all that accordingly. Once we made sure our profiles are up to date, we'll go to purchase a license. And when you come in to purchase a license, you'll probably land on the sport fishing tab. That's the first one in the order here. Just select the 2020 hunting, and you'll land on a page that looks like this. It'll have name, your hunting license. If you've purchased it, it'll say that you've purchased the max quantity for that item. Okay. Down below, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll come to drawings. Okay, if you're an adult hunter and you're registering for yourself, the adult hunter will not have any junior hunts available to register for. Okay, registration for all junior hunts is only by a junior. So if you have a son, daughter, or granddaughter who you're trying to register for a turkey hunt, you'll have to go in under their profile in order to apply for those all junior hunts. As you see, I came in here as a junior hunter. They do have the option to select all junior hunts. When we're talking about junior hunts, for this purpose, it's junior is a junior hunt license holder, someone that is under the age of 16, or they were under the age of 16 by July 1st. Okay, so anybody who has a license that they obtained before they turned 16, which would have been before July 1st, will be considered a junior hunter. Really quick, I want to introduce a poll, because this is something I wanted to see where everybody is that are just joining us tonight. So where will you most likely hunt wild turkey? Public land, private land, a mixture of both public and private land? Please introduce answer that, please. Where will you most likely hunt wild turkey? Public land, private land, a mixture of both public and private. Okay, I'm going to close it here in a couple seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm going to share the results. So a majority of you will be hunting on public land. A couple lucky people out there will be on private, and some will be on a mixture of both public and private. That's great to see that you do have some options out there available. That's good. One more poll before I continue. I want to see how successful you've been. So have you hunted wild turkey? Yes, and I have been successful. Yes, and I have been unsuccessful. Or no, I have not hunted wild turkey. Wow. This one's actually coming out fairly equal in all categories. So very good response. I appreciate your response. I'm gonna end it now because we've got such good response. So you can see we have a mixture of people here. This is great. So yes, 30% or 35% have hunted and been successful. 20 have hunted and been unsuccessful. And some have not hunted wild turkey, 45%. Well, I hope you get out there and start hunting for wild turkey. And this is your last one before I continue. Have you ever applied for a hunt opportunity through the license system? Yes, successfully. Yes, unsuccessfully. And no. Okay, good responses. I really appreciate you guys responding. We got coming up here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I'm gonna share the results with you. So a majority of you have not hunted for, have not applied for a hunt opportunity. I hope that does change tonight. That's what the main reason we're joining tonight is. So please look at this system when we're done. All right, good information for me so I know where we're going. So as I was talking about, we were talking about juniors having to apply on their own. Going on as in their own profile to make sure they can apply for junior hunts. And there's some great hunts available out there, so make sure you follow up with this opportunity. All right. And so this is what it's going to look like after you select and you the category that you want to apply for. You're going to get a list of hunts available. I am going to send you links after this webinar that will describe the different hunts that will be available. You'll want to look at that prior to applying. You'll also want to look at the statistics from last year prior to applying, because it might help you in determining which hunts you want to go for. So you are allowed 3 hunt choices by category. So this is the junior category, and there you can put 3 hunt choices in. Now, even though you put them in order of preference, you know, the number 1 would be your top preference of the hunt that you think you're going to draw or that you want to draw. That's what you're going to put number 1. I would recommend that you put the 1 hunt choice that you think you can draw, and I'll explain why that's something you want to do. So let's go to this next slide. So this is last year's statistics for each hunt. This is just 1 page. There's 2 pages total. I just picked a page because I had 2 different scenarios available here. So unlike putting your name in a hat and drawing out of it and then giving you whatever you wanted as your first choice, the way the draw is actually held is the first choices are put into groups. So they're going to put all the people who picked, let's say this Kanaka Valley BLM junior hunt. There was 25 people that put in for that as their first choice. So all 25 people are going to be, there's an excess of the quota. So those 25 people are going to be drawing for these 2 hunts. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Anybody who put it as a second choice or third choice, those aren't even going to be addressed as a possibility because the first choice people will exceed the quota for that hunt. Okay. If you picked a Howard Slough Junior hunt, and you see here, nobody put in for it for the first choice. If they had, they would have got it. But so what's going to happen is it's going to go down to all the people who put in the second choice. Now, if there was 2 people there because this person didn't draw their first choice, only those 2 people will be considered for that hunt. If those 2 people were drawn on their first choice, then it's going to go down to the third choice people, and so on. So very important that you increase your odds of drawing something by maybe looking at this chart and looking at ones that weren't highly applied for as a first choice. Okay, you see this one down here, Little Dry Creek last year. If you were interested in going hunting towards the end of the season, nobody put in for it as a first choice. So all the people who were in the second choice had an opportunity to draw that because there were no first choice applicants. It seems a little different from what I would think would be the system to draw, but that's the way it is administered. Kind of like the deer draw. Okay, not really a point system because you're not putting in for it, but it looks at first choice applicants first. Any questions there, Robert? Do you see anything coming in?
Yeah, one that might be timely is, are the success rates and the draw rates available online? What's your chances of getting one of these?
Well, you can see how many people put in for each hunt. So like here on this Lake Sonoma junior required, which I should get into that, what junior required is. I'll get that in the next slide. That means that there was a quota of 15 spots to be won, and only 23 people had put in for it. So that means out of those 23 people that put in, only 8 of them were not going to be successful.
Okay,
so
and then how about success rate? Is there any information on how successful they were bagging
in their hunt?
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's any of that. I didn't see any of that information available. And that would be kind of limiting too, because you don't know what their situation was. Like, did they not know how to hunt turkey? Did they maybe have a chance but didn't bag one? So I don't know if that could be a good indicator of what a good hunt area is. But, you know, we all want the opportunity first, right? All right. So in the junior category, there's 2 different types of hunts. There's a junior only, which will be only juniors can hunt. They're going to be on that early weekend, the 20th of March, 20th, 21st maybe. And there's 10 junior required hunts. So that means that's going to be on a regular general season, maybe opening day, maybe later on in the season, where you have to have a junior hunter with you, and but an adult can also hunt. And a lot of times those will accommodate 4 hunters, as far as like there might be 2 kids and two parents. The junior only, some of those were set up for if a junior gets drawn, he can bring another junior, or he or she can bring another junior along. So you'll have to look at the description of the hunts when I present them to you later. Okay, so out of there's 43 spots to be drawn. 43 quota is the quota, but out of those 43 hunts that are available, there's potential to accommodate 98 hunters if you were maxed out. So try to get those maxed, try to get people interested in going with you if you win, so we get more people out in the field. The junior hunt applications are due by February 27th. Under the opening weekend category, there are 16 hunt choices, 107 spots total, 16 different hunts with 107 winners possible, with the potential to accommodate 214 hunters. So each hunt basically accommodates two hunters. You can have a party of 2. Those are due on March 6th, okay? There's some good ones. If you look at the statistics, you can see how many people apply. And I made a mistake of applying for these myself without knowing how the draw was done. And I pretty much started at the top and went down. I think a lot of people do that because those were the highest applied for hunts. So you don't have to compete against me. I'm competing against a bunch of people. Under the balance of season category, there are 41 hunt choices, 263 spots, and the potential to accommodate 526 hunters. Those are also due on March 6th. So a big list, 41 hunt choices. You can check them out. These are all properties that will only be open to people who have a reservation. They're not going to be open to other people. They're all controlled hunt areas, and make sure you apply for the right ones after looking at the drawing statistics. Under the archery only category, there are 7 hunt choices, okay, 14 spots available, and those applications are due March 6th also. You may apply as a party. So when you do this, if you're the first person to apply, you can create your own party or apply alone. If you apply for that and you want a friend to accommodate you that's also archery hunting, you'll have to give him your party number or party name so he can also apply with you. So he can't accommodate you without being in your party. All right. All these hunts take place in Fresno County at Millerton Lake. There's a mandatory orientation that will be on March 20th at 10 a.m. So if you cannot make that orientation on that date and time, there's no use in applying. It'll pretty much eliminate you as a possibility for hunting out there. So make sure that you're able to attend that orientation if you're going to apply for the archery only hunt at Millerton Lake. Okay, and the last possible programs that are available through our department are under the SHARE program. There are 2 hunt properties, as I mentioned. They are in Tulare County. There's 4 spots, 4 different hunt groups it'll take, which will accommodate 8 hunters. So each hunt will take 2 hunters. Okay, if you apply for these, it's $12.14 per choice. So you have 4 choices here. You could apply for all of them or apply for a property or day that better suits you. This deadline is not until March 10th. So when you make your selections and hit submit, each category will cost you $2.42. It's not each choice. These choices don't matter. It's the category. This is the archery category. When I hit submit, it'll put into your cart a $2.42 charge. And for each category, that's what the price is, not per choice. Okay, when you look at your cart, you'll see that I applied for the archery only category, the opening weekend category, and the balance of season category for a total of $7.26. If you were a junior hunter, you could have possibly another category here, and it could cost you just a little bit more. So not that bad of an expense to apply for some really outstanding hunts. Go ahead and try to check them out. When you press checkout, you'll see your shopping cart. It'll describe which hunts you chose, what you applied for, and just make sure that's what it is. If not, if you decide against it, you can go through and remove it. You can cancel your whole sale, or you can continue to shop if you need other additional items. When you finish, complete your sale, you'll be landing on your credit card info. Make sure that's all correctly entered. If you need a confirmation of your purchase through your email, make sure you check the box so that your email, the confirmation will be sent to you. You also need to hit this select button, make sure that you're of age and authorized for the purchase. And then they also have this "I am not a robot" button. So this is one thing that keeps bad things from happening to people's payment cards. So go through this system. You have 3 boxes to check if you wish to receive an email confirmation, and then you will complete your transaction. All right, some additional items to be aware of is there is a single drawing which will be conducted within 5 business days of the application deadline. So 5 days after, within 5 days after the deadline, they will complete the draw, and then you will be notified by successful applicants will be notified by mail once the draw is completed. If you don't have patience, you can check out your ALDS profile to see if you maybe were successful under drawings. You would check to see that, hey, did I get drawn? Am I out or am I in? What's happening? But you will not receive notification on upon being unsuccessful. Only successful applicants will be notified. And then, although department organized hunts aren't offered south of Tulare County, don't be afraid to investigate other opportunities. I know that there's turkeys down in San Diego. So I just did a Google of San Diego turkeys hunting. And I know I did that because I know we have some participants here tonight who are from that area. You do have options. Lake Sutherland in San Diego County has a special hunt opportunity. Check the links in the email I'll be sending you afterwards. They have what they call a, I don't know, some special weekend. I think it's next weekend, maybe even be this weekend, but give them a call. They have like an early turkey, get ready type thing. And you can apply for special hunts at Lake Sutherland. Other public properties that do have turkeys on them will be near the Cuyamaca State Park area, or Kachuma, I can't remember which one it is, but there's Cleveland National Forest down there where you can find some turkeys in that oak woodland areas that are out there. So there are some turkeys. I know it is limited, but hey, get out there and try it. And my attempt at being funny, the end. This is a view that's kind of nice if you're trying to adjust your shotgun so you can make the shot, and they're not going to see you, but that's a really fine turkey. You can tell by his spurs down there. He's a shooter. So were there any questions that came in, Robert, that I can address?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Can you touch on the junior required aspect of some of these? Basically, can siblings hunt in a junior required hunt? Can parents hunt, or is it just for that hunter?
Wait, I'm sorry. My computer was clicking. It can be a sibling. The junior required, basically, it says that basically the junior is the quota winner. If they want to have another junior or even 2-3 more adults, didn't have a limit. I didn't see a limit on the adult side, but the party size is 4, from what I was able to gather. You can have up to 4 people with on most of those as far as the quota goes. So as long as you have 1 junior, it doesn't look like there's a limit on the number of adults, but I believe you can have a mixture of, 2 juniors and 2 adults, or 3 adults and 1 junior. That's what's available for that hunt type for the junior required.
Okay, another one that just came in that's kind of related. Are all these hunts through the department only for new turkey hunters, or are they open to everybody?
They're open to everybody. There isn't any apprentice hunt as far as the turkey hunts go. One time we talked about the planted pheasant hunts where you get priority as an apprentice hunter, maybe putting in your hunter ed certificate. They don't offer that type of thing for these wild bird hunts. So make sure, there's no special privilege given to a new hunter on that. They're all open to everybody, except for the junior hunts. You're on no adults unless it's just a junior required hunt.
Another question is maps for these hunts. Are there maps available? Where would those be obtained?
From what my understanding is, when you get your notification that you're successful, they're going to send you a liability form and hunt information for that hunt. There are some like pre-hunt requirements with orientation. I believe the morning of is all they require. The only ones that I know of that are outside of that are the archery hunting only. So everything else will be probably covered the morning of your hunt.
And that touches on another one. A couple people actually asking, if they are successfully drawn, how will they be notified?
As I mentioned, they'd be notified through U.S. mail because they're going to be mailed those documents that I just mentioned, the liability form and your hunt information form. Like it'll say like, congratulations, you have won hunt Gray Lodge for whatever date it is. And it'll give you instructions of when to appear, where to appear, and then what things you're expected to bring.
Okay, and then you mentioned on one of the archery hunts, I don't remember the location, but you mentioned that there's an orientation, a mandatory orientation. Do you know, generally those are conducted in person. Do you know this year, will they be like a virtual webinar type thing, or will they still be in person?
You know what, it gave in the instructions, it gave a date and time, and I believe that's going to be for the location, but that could change. I'm not sure. That's going to be something maybe I can get out in a post webinar email. I can check into that. I can tell if person's concerns with COVID, whether it's going to be an option for a webinar orientation versus an in-person. It's a good question. Pretty much all these other hunts, though, they're going to follow some COVID guidelines. They're not going to be loosey-goosey. The people are going to set up some type of, COVID-related check-in process. So, that's something that's department mandated. So safety should be considered, priority number one with it.
All right, a real general question. Assuming this person's new to hunting or new to turkey hunting anyways. Just regular turkey, not one of these specific department hunts. Is there any kind of draw or tag or what's required to hunt on public land?
All right, so I am going to have a turkey hunting webinar in March. Actually, I'm going to have two. One's going to cover how to hunt with a junior, and one's going to be like a turkey hunting 101. We will talk about all those things at that time, about what requirements are going to be, what things to go with when you want to go turkey hunting. But if you don't get drawn for one of these draws, one of these special hunts, there are other options available. You saw the turkey range throughout California. There's plenty of public lands. Not all the prime ones are going to have turkey. I mean, not all the options for you on the public land are going to be prime, but there are options out there for you to get out turkey hunting, especially after the general season on through the end of the season. There's people out there who consider turkey pests, and sometimes going out there hunting for them will give them relief on some of the problems that they're having. So it's just a matter of knocking on doors when you find turkeys. Some people, like I said, will gladly give you permission. Some will make you earn it, and some will say no. But that's part of being a hunter, is trying to find those locations where you can actually go out and secure yourself a good place to hunt. But when you go out asking permission, make sure you're representing yourself well, that you're not dressed in tattered clothes, and make sure you're polite. And all those things that they teach you in regular hunter education, those are the things you need to follow. The rules of being responsible and ethical, and all those different suggestions when you go out and try to seek private land opportunities. Another thing that will be really quick, another thing that will be in the link will be some links to our R3 program. They had a harvest huddle hour back in, I think it was in October. where they covered some of the general parts of turkey hunting. If you want to view that, it's going to be, the link for that's going to be in my post webinar email. You can feel free to view those, but I will be having 2 webinars in March that will cover, like I said, hunting with a junior and general turkey hunting 101.
And that leads to the next question, that the questions regarding specifically putting in for these draw hunts is kind of tailing off, but people are asking more general questions. Among them is, where can they find your future webinars?
On our advanced, and this is another link that I put in the link page that I'm gonna send out. On our advanced hunter ed page, I have all upcoming events. That'll be, it's a link there. It'll guide you to our registration page. We have been slow putting up future events. Right now, there are some events posted there for the future next week, which is, this will be our, next week will be our 3rd week in a row in which we've presented webinars. Next week's webinar will be on wild pig hunting opportunities on public land. There's already a lot of people on there registered. It's a popular topic. For the instructors that are there, please sign up under the instructor link, the instructor training link. If you go back to our registration there, I'd like to keep you guys separate as far as that goes. But you'll have the opportunity to sign up there. Other future ones, I should post titles, and just so you guys know when they'll be presented. But the same place you landed for registration, they do have some opportunities right there now that exist. All right. I'm getting a bunch of emails in. I'm sorry I can't address them right now, but I'll try to address them afterwards. Anything else that I can help the panel with tonight?
No, the questions are kind of slowing down, or
Okay.
have slowed down, especially regarding this topic.
All right. All right. Do you get an email notification? Well, one question I see here is, do you get an email notification if you get picked? No, you don't. Okay. Another person said, hey, I've seen turkeys near Lake Henshaw and Palomar Mountain. Palomar Mountain was one person told me is an area that there's a lot of turkeys. So there are some areas in San Diego County for all you Southern California people that you can try and go out and go turkey hunting for. Some public land opportunities there also. All right. Yeah, there. Somebody asked, can you only hunt the draw areas if you are drawn? There is no walk-in, and that's true. There isn't. Only the people who win a hunt will be allowed to go on. There aren't any walk-ins for no-shows. So don't bother trying to appear at a hunt location hoping to get on in case somebody doesn't show up. Okay. Those areas will be available only to people who draw through the hunt reservation system. All right. Let's see, property. Says right here, a question for general turkey hunting of turkey on public property, is a drawing required? No, that's not. Most places they're competitive sometimes. If there's turkeys there, there's usually other hunters who know their turkey there. So sometimes it's a matter of showing up earlier than they do in order to secure a spot. But that's part of the problems with public land hunting. When you're hunting on public land, you have other people to compete against for the opportunity. If they see turkeys and know that they're there, just believe that they're probably somebody else that, you know, if you see them, somebody else is probably seeing them too. And
One of the questions that came in, for most of these locations, are you allowed to scout before the hunt day?
I believe most of these refuges will be open after the late season goose hunt ends, most of the areas will be controlled before then. Like right now, duck season just ended this last weekend. We have a junior weekend coming up. Typically areas used to open up after that, but this year we have the addition of a Veterans Day, Veterans Hunt weekend, which they'll control the opening before that. And then I believe after that, they probably will be open. I don't know if they'll be open for any of the goose hunting. Late season goose, they usually don't allow hunting out there for late season geese on wildlife areas. So we should be open after the Veterans Day weekend, after they do some road maintenance on a lot of the roads. Another thing that somebody mentioned here in the chat that I see, if you're hunting on private property, make sure you have your written permission, especially if that person usually controls that property against hunting or doesn't allow it. If you do get the privilege of hunting on a private property that usually isn't hunted, make sure you have written permission in your possession, okay? Yeah, if you hunt turkeys out of state and you bring them back into the state, there was a question, does it require the import form? Any wildlife that you take out of state and bring in to the state requires you to have a declaration form for it. Okay. Oh, Liz, you answered that. I appreciate that. Can you scout? Yes, you can scout. One thing that you want to be aware of is when you're scouting, don't disrupt the birds like their normal actions. If you find a roost tree, you don't want to go and bug them off the roost tree. You want to make sure that, hey, if that's where they're going to be roosting, that's the area you want to be in the morning. You don't want to roost, bust them off of it. Turkeys are very active vocally in the morning and evenings. So they kind of let you know they're around. So listening basically is all you need to be able to do when it comes to turkeys. Very vocal when they're in the roost tree early morning and evening. So get out there during those time periods. We'll talk about that in the regular wild turkey webinars. So we'll go with that. Some people are asking about turkey cooking. That'll be covered in the next one. So I really have a lot of topics to cover in the next couple of webinars. As I mentioned, next week's will be on wild pigs. And I would say if you haven't registered already, please go ahead and go in there and do it. Instructors, I would like you to register on the instructor training side. That'll keep you separate and make it easier for me to count your hours for our Hunter Ed program. All right. Somebody asked, how can you tell you harvested a healthy bird? Most wild birds, when you see them out there in the wild, there's usually not very much that does affect them. Sometimes you'll get some that may have what they call gangrene. Maybe they've been shot at once before and they've had pellets in their body. Those areas may exhibit some type of infection. But otherwise, for the most part, most wild game mammals, when they do, if they were sick and died, they become easy prey for predators, and they're usually not around for the opportunity to be hunted. So that's what nature does, controls, the presence of sick animals and, or not. All right. No, HEIs don't have to count any hours. You just, when you register and you're on this thing, we're going to be taking care of your hours. So appreciate that. Thank you for asking that question. All right. Well, I've covered a lot. I think a lot of people are, they're still here. I appreciate that. Thank you for staying with us tonight. I don't really have anything else to cover, but if you do have any questions, please email me. I will answer them. If you want to complete the survey, if you go to our Advanced Hunter Education page, there's additional feedback you want to give me through our survey, you can do that. Also, always check out our Advanced Hunter Ed webpage for upcoming events. For past recorded episodes of our webinar, they are there also. Also, please visit our R3H3. It's the Harvest Huddle Hour. It's another program that we're trying to use to recruit new fishermen, hunters, foragers, other outdoor activities. And you'll definitely enjoy some of the presentations that are there. All right, well, thank you. That's going to end our webinar, and good night.
Good night, and thank you.